There was a story that came out this week that a bunch of people sent me because they were like, can this possibly be true? And so let's just start right there. Realtor.com, which is one of the big national, we call them portals, real estate portals. So think Zillow, think homes.com, Trulia, realtor.com, Redfin, you could put in that category as well. These are big national players that have home search websites. Well, realtor.com has their own, group of economists that look at all the data, and they did their forecast for the top 100 markets in the country. And Albuquerque is number 62 in size. Okay, we're just talking about market size right now.
Okay.
But of the 100 markets they looked at, Albuquerque came in dead last for home price appreciation and home price or home sales in 2025. And I think they're just dead wrong. I really think they just made a mistake.
I think it's a typo. When you say mistake, you made a mistake, but I think it's literally a typo.
Yeah, they project that home prices in Albuquerque will drop by 4.1%, I think was what the number they gave for 2025. I even reached out or tried to reach out to some of the economists there. I actually, one of them I've engaged with on X before, Ralph, and haven't had any luck because I just there's there's nothing that makes any sense for that. I really think they meant plus 4%, not negative 4%.
Right. Typo.
And
That's what I mean.
yeah, and so and just to give perspective, Zillow, which is the other, big national real estate portal, and they have all their economists and they crunch the numbers and they actually do an ongoing home price forecast where they like every month they do another forecast. They update, what's going to happen next quarter and what's going to happen next year. They're at 3.9%. Up.
Yeah.
So they're
Increase.
projecting home values are going to increase 3.9% for 2025.
So that's almost an 8% spread. I mean, it just doesn't happen, right? -4 to almost +4.
Do you know how unprecedented it would be if home prices or home values dropped in Albuquerque 4% next year?
Yeah.
The only time that happened were those 3 years in 2008,
8 and
9, and 10.
or 9, 10, and 11.
Yeah, no,
Which
not 11.
not
Well,
8, 9, 10.
11 it had flattened out. I want to lay out my case for what I see in the data and well, not lay out my case, really just give the data and you can draw your own conclusions.
So what sources do you think your data comes from? Is it a variety? Is it
It's a variety.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing I want to point out is a lot of times people will take one data point. And anybody that's done any bit of statistics knows that it's really easy to lie with statistics because you can pick and choose what you want to highlight and show and make an argument. So one argument is home prices have gone up 60% in the Albuquerque area in the last 5 years, right? That's like 12% a year.
The people who listen to us regularly know that.
Yeah.
So
This year it's much more moderate. Just to give you an idea, I just want to kind of highlight that for 2024, we're going to end up somewhere in a 3-4% home price appreciation, closer to 4% for the year over year once all the numbers come in. You can mark that down right now when we actually get the data sometime in
early January.
Yeah, well, it depends which one you're talking about, but yeah, it's going to be in that range.
That's right. Things usually lag more than your numbers.
Well, and the thing that I like to point out is, okay, are we talking how much median sale price change, how much home values change for all homes, price per square foot? So yeah, again, you can pick and choose certain data, but I'm just saying across the board, 2024 is going to be somewhere in that probably mid 3 to 4% range.
So for people that are watching us online, you have a chart that's really interesting, Tigo. It's called Serious Mortgage Delinquency Rates.
Yeah. So
And
actually,
this
I
chart,
haven't shared yet. Hold
oh,
on.
yeah, you better share it.
Okay. Let me
It goes back, this chart, to 2003.
Yeah. And so what I'm trying to lay out is, okay, to get into a decline in home prices, you need a lot of supply and low demand, right? Basic economics, right? You need a lot of supply, low demand, or very, very low demand and really, really high supply, right? Well, none of those things are happening right now, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen. We're still 25% less homes on the market right now. Actually, let me bring that chart up since I've got it right here. So the number of homes on the market is still 25% below. Here's the chart. So we are about 1,700 homes on the market at the end of November. So just, right now, if we go back to November 2017, for example, or 2019, get there it is. It was about 2,200 homes on the market. So we're still at a low supply market historically. And even in 2019, we were doing the show and we were talking about, wow, it's not a lot of homes on the market.
Yep, we were.
So we're still in that low supply market. But the other part of that is, do we have distressed homeowners? And that's what you started to allude to with this chart, which is how many people are behind on their mortgage? How many people are not making their mortgage? And if you're seeing this online, you see this huge spike starting in really late 2007, obviously all the way through until 2010, where we got up to about 9% people being delinquent on their mortgage. We're a little bit higher than what it was during the pandemic years, but the pandemic years also had this
Forbearance.
beautiful thing called forbearance that helped a lot of people get through that time. It's ticked up a little bit, but we're still very low. If we look at
Tigo,
okay, go ahead.
People who are listening, it's going to be worth it for you to go get on YouTube, Facebook.
Yeah.
Where else?
Yeah, YouTube and Facebook. I'll put it in there, those two
Those
places.
charts are just mind-blowing when you look at how severe the drop-off is on delinquency rates on homes and mortgages.
So if you look at it nationally, the delinquency rate is about 3.5%. So one thing to point out with that's only people that have a mortgage.
Right.
Is 3.5%. And there are more free and clear homes today than a very, very long time, meaning no mortgage.
Right. I was going to say free and clear is kind of a term we throw around. That means they own the house outright without a loan. And there are a large number of those in our market.
So nationally, it was 3.5 in Albuquerque, excuse me, New Mexico. I don't have Albuquerque specific, 2.9%. So New Mexico is below the national average on delinquencies. And right now in New Mexico, there's only 0.4%, less than a half a percent of people that are in the foreclosure process. Again, these are people that have mortgages. We're not talking about people that have no mortgage. And that's actually a drop from last year. And this is the most current data we have. This is as of October.
So if you're looking at the chart online, I can't help but want to look at who's worst and who's best, right? Louisiana, Mississippi, I assume that's Alabama, AL, not Alaska.
Yeah, the South and the Southeast is the most,
up to 7.7%. And the best, Washington State at 1.8, then Colorado at 1.9%. So yeah, it's a pretty big spread when you look at.
You did a really good job scanning through that really quick.
Well, you put a beautiful chart up there. I had to see, but I wanted to see where we were compared to the highs and lows.
Yeah.
And we're pretty low delinquency rate wise. So
and
that's good news.
Again, not a lot of distressed sellers from keeping up on their mortgage standpoint. The next, I don't want to do that chart yet. The next thing I want to talk about is homeowner equity. Another thing that it takes into account for, okay, are there people that are upside down on their mortgage? I don't think a lot of people understand that, meaning they owe more than the home is worth. And is there a lot of that out there? Well, one stat that I'll see thrown around a lot, again, these are the housing doomers, as we call them, the people that say the sky's falling, everything's going to fall apart, oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. They say that mortgage debt is at the highest level in history. And that is true. But what about the other part of the equation? How much equity, how much value is there? There's currently $48 trillion worth of home real estate out there right now in the United States. 48 trillion. There's 13 trillion in debt. That's a big number, which means there's 35 trillion in equity in residential real estate in the United States. That is an all-time high.
That's huge. Yeah.
So there's my other argument for that. Okay, Albuquerque. I did this one, Tracy, a while ago.
Nice
And it
pie
got
chart, Tigo.
it got hey man, hey, I can
You can chart.
chart.
Yeah.
I can work a Excel sheet most days.
No, you're good at it.
Well, and if I get stuck, I just ask ChatGPT now because it can help you. All right, what I did, because there was a stat saying that there's there's a bunch of people in the Albuquerque area and everybody's got mortgage and a lot of people have high mortgages. Well, anyway, I did a deep dive and what I found is about 39% of all homeowners in the Albuquerque area, the greater Albuquerque area, 39% of them have no mortgage. Their house is paid
They
for
own
free
it.
and clear. Yep. And that's an all-time high as far as we can tell. And the other thing that's interesting is another 30% have a mortgage that's 4% or less,
Whew.
which means that, again, they're in a, you think about a 4% mortgage right now, that's an asset when you consider that current rates, are around 7. So 39% are free and clear, another 30% have a 4% or less, another 17% have a 4 to 6%.
Interest rate on their mortgage.
And then there's only about 13% or so that are 6% or more. It's probably a little more than that now because this is a few months old data because it doesn't come out very often. But again, people have really, really good balance sheet. Homeowners have really, really good balance sheets right now.
So, I mean, you have me convinced, but I've seen all these stats. What else?
One more I'm going to do real quick. Another interesting stat to follow is home vacancy, which is how many homes are sitting vacant, nobody living in them. It was at an all-time low back 2021. It's moved up a little bit, but it's still below the average going back to 2005. So yes, there's some vacancy, but it's very, very low. There's not a
It
bunch
says
of ghost houses that they call them sitting out there.
it says 1.5. Is that 1.5 per 100 houses or something, or just 1.5%?
It's percent.
So that would be 1.5 out of 100 homes.
Yeah.
So 1.5. Because when I'm out and about and meeting with clients, a lot of times, like I can tell you right now, one house that's sitting vacant. And the next door neighbor said, yeah, they moved to, I think it was Atlanta, and they just left the house. And they thought, if they don't like Atlanta, maybe they'll come back some year, but they haven't rented it out or anything. It's just sitting there.
Yeah.
So I don't know why else houses are vacant.
Yeah. So the real point of that chart was that home vacancies aren't like surging. There's not like
Not
this,
a bunch of distressed homes sitting
bunch
around.
of sitting
Yeah.
homes sitting vacant. Home price forecast. Let's talk about this. This one just came out. This is the survey where they survey 100 different economists all over the country. And to make a long story short, they are saying 3.1% nationally in home price appreciation for 2025.
And that's across the board. For those of you that are looking at the chart, you can see it ranges from 5.5% to 0.6, and Moody's says negative 0.4.
Yeah.
The only one that said they are going to go down of note.
Those are national averages, but the truth is Albuquerque over the years has trended with the national averages for home prices because our market doesn't see the peaks and valleys like a lot on other markets. That's why that realtor.com, negative 4% for
Makes no
home
sense.
prices
Yeah.
for 25 makes no sense because it's just that would take something that we've just never seen before. Thanks for watching the video all the way to the end. We appreciate you. And please click subscribe. We'll keep you updated on what's going on with real estate in the Albuquerque area and New Mexico, and of course, across the entire country. Have a great one.